Uh, Hi everyone. Am I audible to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay.
Yes, sir.
Thanks. Uh, is it Alka 554? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay, just I rename. Okay. Let we continue.
Sure,
Just
sir.
just I see. Okay. Let's continue the session. First I share my screen with you. Yesterday we have covered our data visualization. We have finished it, and you have to do some practice. We will take one session later on. Okay. And today we are going to start data preparation part. And you already know what we will cover in the 10 days I explained you. And if you want, I show you once more. So we have covered this data visualization, and now we will start the data preparation. One session we will do later on, with the Shiny app and this on. Shiny app will no we will not cover whole in one day. It is a course of 15 to 20 days. Okay, but I will explain you how does it work. Data preparation we start today, and we learn how to treat the missing values and outliers, making dummy variables for linear logistic regression, and a transformation of data manipulation by grouping, separate, unite, gather, spread, etc. So this all we will cover in this chapter, and after that we start our principal, sorry, inferential analysis. Okay, and then the factor analysis. This chapter we are not using here because it is we are using the predictive analysis, the principal component analysis, which is mostly not used in the inferential. Inferential we use the factor analysis. So we are going to start that, and I just share that with you. What is this? Just open project. Today we study about the data preparation. Uh, so I will explain what does it mean, and so why we do it. Data preparation is the very first thing that you do and spend a lot of time on as a data analyst much before trying to build a predictive models using that data. It means that we use our 60 to 80% time on pre-processing of the data. The remaining time we use for training the model and finding out the result in preparation. In essence, data preparation is all about processing data to get it ready for all kinds of analysis. This is the essence of the data preparation. So we have to prepare the data in that way we could perform the different sort of analysis. All industry data collection mostly driven by the business process, that is not at front, not by the needs of predictive models. You know, they just give us the data in the business process. You know, they use that. They make, suppose we have sales data. In the sales data, in the ERP, they use some dashboard where they show the sale of monthly sale or the daily sale, whatever, in a graph or some table or whatever. And that data is created by their business process. So we are mentioning over there. But in the when we have to make the predictive model, we require the data. We have to convert that data as per the requirement of that predictive model. Suppose we have to make a model on the sales prediction for the next 2 months, 3 months, 5 months, whatever. And that model I want to feed in that dashboard. So I have to require the data, the previous data, the historical data by which I could train the model, and I could fix over there. So for that, I have to study the data as per our analytical point of view, because I will get the data from the business process. I will get the invoice number and everything I will get over there. So I have to remove the unuseful columns, and I have to keep the requirements. I have a requirement in the time series analysis. I have a requirement of the time in a chronological order. If it is the daily sales data, so I should have the information of the all days. Okay, and there should be mentioned the day, Sunday, whatever the, and uh, then if they want is it is monthly, so then I will do group by it and whatever we will learn here, how we do that, and then I per the mod is per the model I will get the prediction. So these various processes at some or the other point become reason for introduction of error here and there in the data. When we pre-process the data, sometimes it may create some errors in the data, you know, because it depends on the your performance, how accurate you are going in the pre-processing. If I'm doing somewhere some mistake, then you will get some errors. You know, it will create some error in the data. Need to pre-process our data. Reason for pre-process our data. Uh, there may be duplicate data. First thing, there may be missing data. There may be potentially incorrect data, that we could say that the outliers. Need for changing form of the data. And we could change the form of the data. If it is the daily data and I want to predict a monthly basis, then I will convert the data in the monthly form, month-wise. I will group by the data month-wise, and then I will find out the things. So that is the need of changing form of the data. Sometimes the row I have to include many columns in one row. So many columns in one column I have to merge as a categorical basis, or sometimes I require to convert one big column in as per the category, different columns. It depends on the model, what sort of model you are going to prepare. The figure out the missing value and the outliers we are talking about now, how to handle the missing values and the outliers. So you will figure out that treatment of both missing values and the outliers can at times be very similar. And the reason being, both kind of observation are basically not in a state to be used because of missing or misinformation. The first, the missing value. So there is a missing, both observation basically on not in a state to be used because there is something missing. Or if it is the outlier, the value is not appropriate, it is the very different value. So it will give us the misinformation. Or as per this misinformation, we train the model to model will mislead us, can mislead us. So that is the thing. So treatment for missing values, first we see if we have a missing values in less than 5% of the observations, है ना? You have, suppose you have 100 observations and you have a missing values in the 4 observations only. So then what we can do? We can remove those observations from our data set. It will not affect much on our data size, sample size. It is now 96 instead of 100. So that is the way if it is less. But it is the 20% of the observations are having missing value. Then what we will do? Then we will impute some value, filling up missing values with the respective columns, mean, median, and mode, whatever the we take. Okay, as per the distribution of that column, we see whether it is normal or the skewed. If it is normal, we impute the mean. If it is not normal, it is skewed, then we use the median. Sometimes we depends on us what we are going to use. The mode. Mode is for the categorical data we generally use. And third thing is the imputing with business logic. Sometimes we use some business logic. And we also see the corresponding columns and we see what are the values there and which are matching to some other observation. If they are similar, so what is the value in the missing column, missing values column, and then they put as per that value. So that is the imputing with business logic. So we will do it practically. There is a formula, not the formula. There is a package by which we could use the business logic. Otherwise, we could not observe this much observations and these all things in the big data. And for the treatment of outliers is the same. If there is a outliers in less than 5% of observations, then you could remove the observations with outliers. Otherwise, you will do the flooring and capping. I earlier explained it. And today we also see the practical how we floor and cap it. In the theory part, I have explained it in the R1. And the imputing with business logic is the same. Okay, first and third are same. The second point is different, the missing and the outliers. Need of for changing of form of the data, transforming and extracting information from the existing data. So we use it, collapsing and summarizing data, collapse and summarize the data, group by in this way. And sometimes we reshape the data. That is the need for changing the form of the data. We see it practical, so good better understand. Data preparation with R. So basic of data manipulation. It is not a basically a data manipulation. We could say that it is a scientific way to manipulate the data. Okay. Data manipulation is the process of changing data in an effort to make it easier to read or be more organized. That is mean by data manipulation. For reserved words in R, NA, null, INF, and NaN. So NA stands for not available. It is for the missing value in R. And is used to represent missing values, as explained here. Null represents the absence of a value or an undefined value. That is not there. Null represents the absence of a value or undefined value sometimes. Infinite is something like if you divide something by 0, you will get the infinite. That is the for infinite INF. NaN is not a number. It is we divide 0 by 0, infinite by infinite. So at that moment we get the NaN. Does that make sense to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now the data quality, cleaning up data, missing values, duplicate rows, formatting columns, these all we use. Data manipulation made intuitive through the dplyr library. We use the package dplyr for the data manipulation, which is the 2 or 3 library we use here. One is the dplyr, one is the tidyr. These are very important. The dplyr, it works only on the data frame, D for the data frame. And if you see the pipe operator is there, percent greater than percent is the pipe operator, or it is known as then and then and pipe two. Okay, it is known in this way. And why data carpentry? This is the data carpentry basically.
Sir, what
Good
is the pipe operator?
pipe operator is a chaining method we
Okay.
apply. I will let you know in that practically you could better understand this.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Good data scientists understand in a deep way that the heavy lifting of cleanup and preparation is not something that gets in the way of solving the problem. है ना? If you have a heavy lifting of cleanup and preparation is not something that gets in the way of solving the problem, it is the problem. If you don't clean the data properly, then it will be a problem for you later on when you train the model. Understand? When you do the
Yes,
analysis.
sir.
So that is very necessary. Don't treat it as a problem. So it is a very important. You have to give your more and more time to clean up and these all things, the preparation, the data, and ways to manipulate data is the missing values, data summarization, group by factors, aggregate, subset, exclude, bucketing values, rearrange, shape, merge data sets. These all things we will study. There is a one split up a big data set. Suppose the X column we have a categorical and the Y we have a numerical column. And we want the mean of A and B and C. If I want the mean of Y, that's not a problem. The whole Y mean I could get. But if I want the mean as per the X, you know, A, the mean of A and the mean of B and the mean of C, as per these categories, I want the mean of Y. So it split the data first and then apply and then combine. So then apply your formula. It split the data in this way. 246 divided by 2 is 3. And it is 8 divided by 2. There are two only variables, two observations only. So it is 4. It is 15 divided by 2 is 7.5. Then it finally gives us this response. The mean of A is 3, the mean of B is 4, and the mean of C is 7.5. So we use some apply function to each piece. Uh, we could also use the for loop and these all things, but we use the apply function in R. Okay. And data reshaping in R is about changing the way data is organized into rows and columns. R has many functions to split, merge, and change the rows to columns and vice versa in data frame. So joining columns and rows in a data frame, merging data frames we have seen in our R1, and melting and casting, melt the data and cast the molten data. So we'll see these all things. And dplyr package, we see here a few basic verbs are there. The filter, we filter the data. We filter the rows, and it is for the rows. We arrange the data, arrange the rows in whatever way. The select the column, select is for the column. Mutate a new column based on the existing columns, mutations. And summarize the aggregate value for each group, reduces the single value. And if you have the data of the daily basis of the sales, you want to convert them in monthly, that is the group by month. So group by one or more variables, and the tally is the convenient wrapper for summarize. So we'll see these all things practical. Okay. Now there is a syntax of this all. We will see this syntax in our practical. Not I will explain here. And there is another library I have told you that the tidyr library, TIDYR. So tidyr library, if I say the easily tidy data with spread and gather functions. So spread and gather and separate and unite. So I will explain this whole thing. What is the spread and what is gather and what is separate and what is unite. We'll see these all things later. And screen is not shared. Screen is shared, I think. My screen visible to all.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so please you log out and log in, Mr. Rao. Log out and log in again, please. Now we see for this here different type of feature engineering encoding techniques for categorical variable encoding. So feature engineering is a process of using domain knowledge of the data to create features that make machine learning algorithm work. Feature engineering is fundamental to the application of machine learning and is both difficult and expensive. You know, the need for manual feature engineering can be obviated by automated feature learning. You know, so feature engineering is an informal topic, but it is the considered essential in applied machine learning. Okay, so I will explain you the manual feature engineering and the obviated feature automated feature learning. I will explain you later on. We have some packages which automatically do this task of the feature engineering. You know? And sometimes we have to use our manual process to convert the data in that form. And here I will explain you some more things. Why feature engineering is important. If feature engineering is done correctly, it increases the productive power of the machine learning. Right? It increase the productive power of the machine algorithm by creating features from raw data that help facilitate the machine learning process. So feature engineering is an art. So the humans are required there. The human brain is required. Not the machine can perform everything. For solving any machine learning problem, there are some steps that we have to follow: gathering data and cleaning data. These two things we have to do: gather the data and clean the data. And the feature engineering defined model, training, testing model, and predicting the output. Basically, all machine learning algorithms use some input data to create outputs. And this is the machine learning process. This input data comprise features. There are many variables. Variables are called the features, which are usually in the form of structured columns, and they are all in the columns. The algorithm require features with some specific characteristic to work properly. Okay, that is the reason. So feature engineering and the feature selection, which is which feature we have to involve or which we won't have to involve. That is very important. That task could not be done by automatically by the automatic model. And then now you see there are so many algorithm and the Google and some other companies are providing that you just put the data and you will get the model. So, but you put the data after feature engineering. You could not put the data before feature engineering. It is all pre-processing. And that cannot be done by that automatic process. It just create the model, whatever the variable you will give. Little bit data pre-processing it will perform, not the complete. So the human being is required. That is an art. So data scientists spend 80% of their time on the data preparation. And what data scientists spend on the most time doing? Building training sets 3%, cleaning or organizing data 30%, 60%, collecting data sets 19%, mining data for patterns 9%, refining algorithm 4%, other 5%. In this way, that's the general overview I have given. What are the encoding? What are the encoding techniques and types of encoding techniques? In many practical data science activities, the data set will contain categorical variables. Sometimes the categorical variable like the placebo and treated, we have seen in our previous session, and the sum, marked, and none. These are the categorical variables. So these variables are typically stored as text values. Since machine learning based on the mathematical equation, most of the machine learning models, not all, in the decision tree there is not requirement, But in the linear and logistic regression, there is a requirement, there is a mathematical model. So it would cause a problem when we keep categorical variables as is. So many algorithms support categorical values without further manipulation, like the decision tree and these all, as I explained you. But the linear and logistic regression, like that algorithm, we require to convert the categorical column in the numeric one. So, but in those cases, it is still a topic of discussion whether they encode the variables or not. If the decision tree is there is no need to convert the categorical in a numeric form, binary or whatever. But it is also a topic of discussion whether we have to encode that for that or not. The algorithm that do not support categorical values, in that case, are left with the encoding methodology. Then we have to encode the thing. Like the linear regression, for the logistic regression, we have to encode it. So encoding methodologies, if we see, so where order of data does not matter. If the order of data does not matter, order of data does not matter, I will explain you. The last day means yesterday, we had one data set, arthritis. Okay. And we have seen there two columns. One column was treatment. There were two categories, placebo and treated. There is no requirement of order of data. The placebo you have to put first, or the treatment you have to put. Does that make sense to you? There was another column that was a improved. There is a none, sum, and mark. So that is the order. None, improvement, then sum, then mark. This is the order. So here nominal encoding means where order of data does not matter, like the treated, like the treatment column, the placebo or the treated. So in the nominal encoding, we have various techniques, one hot encoding with many categories, and mean encoding. So we will understand this later on. And ordinal encoding, where we have like the none, sum, and mark, where the order of the data matters. The ordinal encoding will also have the various techniques. Label encoding, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we could give the label. And target guided ordinal encoding. So we'll see on that later on with practical thing. Then here I have explained a few things with this picture. For the nominal, pen, pencil, and eraser, you could put any order. You could pencil first and the pen later and the eraser, whatever. The cow, dog, cat, there is no order. But here the excellent, good, and bad. So there is an order. Otherwise, bad, good, excellent, or the excellent, good, bad. But good, excellent, bad will not be better. It not be order. Order may be the descending or the ascending, like that. Like in the second picture, also the fantastic, okay, and don't like. So this is the order, ordinal, basically. And I will explain the one hot encoding. So this is method we map each category to a vector that contains 1 and 0. Like we have a user, 6 users are there, I have given one. And there is a gender. So there is no need the 1 for male and the 2 for female and the 0 and 1. So we make one column for male and one column for female, and there are 3 columns, third for the transgender. Why I have made the cross, I will explain you later on. So if someone is male, first one is male, so male will be 1, and the female column it would be 0, and the transgender it would be 0. Does that make sense to everyone? This is the one hot encoding. Yeah, Alka, ask what you are asking. It's okay, understanding this? Second, you see there is a female. So in the female, it would be 1. In other 2, it would be 0. Understand? This is called the encoding. We are converting the categorical into numeric. Understand? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Why we are doing this? Why we are doing this?
Because system only read binary number 0 or 1.
No, we are using binary. Why? We could give 1 female, 2 male, and 3 transgender also. 1, 2, 3 in this way we could do. Can we do it like that? 1, 2, 3.
Sir, presence or absence of a characteristics.
What happens if I do 1, 2, 3? I explain. Suppose there is a column of gender. There is a column of income. I'm just giving a hypothetical example. The male, whose income is 10,000. Female, whose income is 8,000. And there is a transgender whose income is 5,000. Understand? And if I categorize it, if I give some ordinal number to this 1, 2, and 3, and here I am multiplying gender and income, what will happen? 1 into 1,000, 10,000, sorry, I will get 10,000. And 2 into 8,000, I will get 16,000. And the 3 into 5,000, so I will get 15,000. What does it mean? Male is getting low income, female is getting higher, highest one. Understand? So it is right or wrong?
Wrong, sir.
Wrong, sir.
So what we do? I will make 3 column like this. I just remove this, so it will be better. Just a moment. I have taken that. I take it. It will be better. I remove this. What I do? I make one column for male, then female, and then transgender. Okay. And someone is male, I will put here. I will not use this column now. And I will just put as for the values. Here is 0, 1, 0, and here is 0, 0, 1. Got it? Now what I will do? I will income multiplied by male plus female plus P. Got it? So income is 10,000. Male is 1, then 0, and then 0. So I will get 10,000. It is correct now.
Yes, sir.
So I will get the exact value now, the 8,000 and the 5,000. Understand this? Okay. For 8,000, female, 0 plus 1 plus 0. Got it?
Yes, sir.
And for transgender, got it? So we are doing this thing. But we have 3 categories: male, female, and transgender. And we take dummy variables, maximum dummy variables, we take n minus 1. Maximum number of n is the number of categories. So we have 3 categories, so we could consider only 2 dummy variables. Understand? 2 dummy variables. Why? Why not all 3? Can somebody explain me this thing? Why not all 3? Why I am removing transgender? I could remove anyone, not a fixed rule that. But one I have to remove. I have to take only n minus 1. Reference category. what happens? You have something different. You don't have, here we have only three. There is a transgender. Suppose there is some other thing, not only this male, female, and transgender. There is some other thing we are taking. We are taking the name of cities, suppose. So we have five cities. Okay. And out of five, we will consider only four. And the one we will use as a reference or the base category. So whenever we get some different name, whenever we get some different name, it will go to base category. Otherwise, if you are not put there a base category, then the data, the category which is not mentioned in your model, in your column, so the model will deny it is we could not tag this thing. Understand? So that's why we take only n-1, and the which category we remove, we don't take. It is the base category. It is inside the in your data. Whenever somebody is not male or not female, it means it is a transgender. It will consider automatically as a transgender. It means other than that, other than male and female. It is something other than male and female. Understand? So this is method we map each category to a vector that contains 1 and 0, denoting the presence of the feature or not. The number of vector represents the categories which we want to keep. The high cardinality features is that method produces a lot of columns that slows down the learning significantly. It can increase the column because we have 3 categories, so we are making 2 columns. If we have 15 categories, so then we are making 14 columns. So the number of columns will increase, your features will increase, so it will slow down the process. Okay. So there is a bug between one hot encoding and the dummy encoding, and when to use one. They are much alike except one hot encoding produces number of columns equal to the number of categories. In the one hot encoding, what happens? The number of column is equal to number of categories. But in dummy producing is one less, as I mentioned here, the dummy. Okay. So this should ultimately be handled by the modeler accordingly in the validation process. Okay. Now, I explain you one thing more. Suppose they have given you some data. There are few categories, or you have done one hot encoding. So in one hot encoding, whatever the features you have taken, it would be a column, all columns. Suppose there are some university names. In the training data, they have mentioned some names, or as per you have done the one hot encoding, you have taken all the categories. And the testing data, there are some new categories, new universities names are there. So what will happen? It will deny. The model will deny to take that name. It is not a factor. Understand? It will say it is not a factor there. This factor level is not there. So the dummy is better. So there is something other than that, then it will pass to dummy. It will pass to base category. Understand? Does that make sense to everyone?
Sir,
Hmm.
sir, testing data means?
Testing data, we divide the data in two parts. Okay. So the second part, first part is called the training data. Second part is called basically the testing or the validation data. It depends. Okay. We test our model on that data. Understand?
Yes, sir.
We will see later. Level encoding, I will explain you. UG, PG, PG. So you see UG is 1, PG is 2, PhD is 3. So this is a label ordered. So in this encoding, each category is assigned a value from 1 through k, whatever the category are there. K is the category, number of categories. Here n is the number of category for the feature. If it may took like bike is smaller than car, is smaller than bus, is smaller than tractor, 0, 1, 2, 3. Categories that have some ties or are close to each other lose some information after encoding. And the categories which are some tie. So just like a PG and PGD, post graduation diploma and post graduation. So there is some tie between them. So the PG you are giving PG diploma you are giving 2 and the PG you are giving 3. In that, so it will lose some information. Now the frequency encoding. It is a way to utilize the frequency of the categories as labels. In the case where the frequency is related somewhat with the target variable, it helps the model to understand and assign the weight in the direct and the inverse proportion depending on the nature of the data. So if you calculate this all, what will sum you are getting? 0.44, 0.33, 0.22. It is the frequency or encoding, how much time it is there. Okay, so 4 out of 9, so 0.44, 0.33, and we calculate it, how many times it is. So there is a mean encoding. I will explain you later on with the practical. There is a bank full data is there or not? There is a bank full data. So I will read this bank full data, and I see there is one variable. No, but basically there is no one variable. If I show you the data is like this. It is a mismatched form. So instead of comma, there is a semicolon. Separator is semicolon. So what I have to do, whenever I will read this data, I will put the separator also there. Okay. So there is a separator semicolon. If I put this, then it will give me the correct form, the 17 variables. If I view this, so I will get all the columns properly. Understand? So there are 45,211 observations, 17 variables. This is just how to read the data. Okay. And if I show you the structure of this data, you see there is a character. Okay. All the string variables are character. Other are numeric and the integer, whatever. Understand? But previously, just a moment. There is too much negative. Previously in this read data, syntax. It provides us as a factor this in the data frame. And if the categorical variable are in factor form, you could not manipulate it. So at that time, we have to use string as factor false. What? String as factor false. The strings, whatever, these are all the strings, or it comes in a factor form. Previous, before this version of the R programming, before 5-6 months, we could say before pandemic. Now they have changed their algorithm. Now when you read the file, automatically it is in the character form. Because they understand now, because of most of the data analyst request them, please you do this sort of conversion. So we don't have to use the string as factor false always. We just read the data and we get in the character form, and we required in the factor form, we convert them in factor. Understand?
Sir, if you put strings as factor is true, it will automatically convert them to factors.
Yeah,
Right?
I will show you. That also. You see now. Getting this in factor? Here you see it is in character. Now it is in factor. Getting it?
Okay. Sir.
Today I am not feeling well, so I think that we should wind up today here only. Tomorrow we take the session. What do you say? Okay.
Yes, sir, you take some rest, then we
So
will.
tomorrow we will cover it.
Yeah,
Understand?
but sir, from my side, I'm Alka. I get only 1 day of data, like one first day of
The
slides and
same link you have to go always. You will get the all
okay,
data over there on the same link.
okay, so I will check it.
Huh,
Okay,
you check it. You will get the on the
okay.
same link. The one link is there. You always
Yes,
use
yes.
that link. Okay.
Okay, sir. Yes.
But there is so much humidity, so I'm not
Okay,
feeling
sir.
well today. Okay. So tomorrow we come. We do it later on.
Yes, 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 sir.
I will share that PPT today. Okay. And the video and PPT I will share, and the data set and whatever the script also I will share. And tomorrow we will work on this script. Okay. Loan script I have already shared today.
Okay, sir.
So you could take it from there. And the
Yes,
other
sir.
script I will share today. The dataset folder I will share to you. So you will get all dataset over there, whatever we use in future. Okay.
Okay, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, sir.
Sir,
Take rest, sir.
Yeah, it's for you.
sir, I didn't receive the study material.
Okay, I will share the link. I have shared the link to you. I have shared it. It's for you.
Okay, sir.
You
Okay, I will
just
check.
see in the mail. See in the mail, and then you, if you want, get WhatsApp me. Okay.
Okay, sir. Take
I have
care, sir.
shared.
Take
I
rest.
know that I have shared it. Today I have shared it.
Okay, sir. Take care, sir.
Okay. Because I have to this headphone all the time, so it is due to humidity. It is having some sweat inside that. So thanks everyone. Tomorrow we let you continue tomorrow.
Thank you, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Keshji, I think that he has opened this, or he is not here. Keshji, are you there? I think it's not there. I just leave it.